Hey everybody, Dallas again with Chaos Fragrances. Today we're back with another weekly fragrance rotation video. This is the 5th video in the series that I've done. And so this time I decided to take a week where I just wore very mass-pleasing, highly compliment-getting fragrances. So obviously these are all fragrances that are very well liked by the masses. They aren't, very challenging niche fragrances that a lot of people would dislike. These are all very safe, very easy to wear fragrances that do well out in the public. So we're going to start off on Wednesday, May 8th. I went with Amouage Reflection Man. So this is a fragrance that's gotten quite a bit of hype in the community. It's a men's floral fragrance with some citrus as well. Those of you out there who are into really masculine leather type of fragrances, you're not really going to like this one. This one, like I said, has a very floral quality to it. Not every guy is going to like that. Not every guy is going to want to wear that. But in general, this fragrance does really well in terms of getting compliments and in terms of people liking it. This is really good stuff. For me personally, it's one of my favorites from Amouage. I love how it smells. It's incredible, juicy citrus with some nice florals. It smells awesome. On Thursday, I went with Coach Platinum. So I've done a review on this one already on the channel not too long ago. You can check out if you're interested in it. But this fragrance basically takes that Coach DNA that's kind of gets compared to Sauvage and adds some vanilla and some other sweeter notes in it. For me personally, I love how it smells. It's nice and sweet with that like metallic ambroxan undertone, some lavender, and of course the vanilla, like I said. It really just takes that type of DNA, sweetens it up, and in my opinion, that adds even more of a mass appeal to it because typically sweet fragrances mixed with fresh fragrances really go well together in terms of being very mass appealing. Stuff smells really good. It's pretty affordable. You can get it for around that $40 range for a 100 ml. I got this one as a tester, so you can really get it for a good price. It smells great. It has okay performance, but I just really like the scent. On Friday, I went with Paco Rabanne Invictus Aqua. So this fragrance is one that has been talked about quite often. You really don't have to look too far to find someone talking about this fragrance in any of their videos or top 10 lists or scent of the days or whatever. A lot of people really like this fragrance, and for good reason. It's one of my personal favorites for summertime. This version right here in particular is the 2018 version. I do prefer the 2016 overall, mostly just because the performance is a lot better. It's very, very potent stuff. However, I do like the smell of this better. This one is a little bit less synthetic. It's a little bit more smooth, has a little bit more of a bubblegummy sweetness to it. Just the smell of this overall comes across more high quality, but it's not quite as strong. And part of the reason why I like Invictus Aqua 2016 so much is because of that performance. It is so strong. It's one that I can wear to the pool, and if it gets wet, it still performs and it doesn't just wash off. Really, really potent stuff. That's one of the reasons why I like it so much. This version right here, unfortunately, doesn't perform as good, but the smell, in my opinion, is better. It is, like I said, a little bit more smooth, a little bit more well-rounded, doesn't come across as synthetic, and that's a good thing. And this one does really, really well with the compliments. In general, Invictus does really well, and these Invictus Aqua flankers are no joke either. I'm sure most of you have smelled this one by now. If you haven't, it's worth going to check out at Macy's or whatever. It's really, really nice stuff. It's a great one for summer, really good mass-appealing scent with good performance, good versatility. Just an awesome one for summertime. That is Invictus Aqua. On Saturday, I decided to break out Dior Sauvage. So here lately, I've been wearing a lot of Carbon. I've been talking about Carbon a lot, Prada Luna Rossa Carbon, that is. But I decided to change it up and go back to Sauvage. And for those of you who are unaware, Sauvage is one of my favorite summer scents. It's one of my favorite dumb reaches for just spring and summertime because not only is the performance very strong, but it's also extremely versatile. You could wear this fragrance pretty much whenever you want to. There's really no limit. Just about anything you can wear this stuff for. It's just that versatile. It just works so good. And the heat, it does great. You can even wear it throughout the fall and winter and it'll still work because of how strong it is. It's just one of my favorites. However, I've recently discovered Carbon, and I've started to like that one more just because Carbon basically takes the rough, peppery, in-your-face DNA that Sauvage has and basically rounds it out. To me, Carbon is a little bit more mature. It's a little bit more well-rounded. It's a little bit more perfected, at least to my nose. And it's just a little bit more pleasing overall. Sauvage often gets hate because it comes across synthetic, which it does. But to me, Carbon kind of fixes that issue. It doesn't come across as synthetic as Sauvage does because it is a little bit more smoother. It's a little bit more sweeter as well. Kind of goes towards Sauvage EDP, in my opinion, in terms of that sweetness that it has. I just really like Carbon. But for me, it's hard to beat Sauvage either. It's really hard to beat that bergamot, peppery, ambroxan opening that this has. very invigorating, very awesome stuff. And like I said, this at one point was one that I would wear almost every day in the warmer weather. Haven't been as much lately. I've been reaching for carbon more, and I've been reaching for other stuff as well. But I decided to break this one back out, and I'm glad I did, because I really, really like this stuff, and it is Sauvage. And of course, this is the Eau de Toilette that I'm talking about. So on Sunday, I went with a classic. I went with Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce. I really don't have to talk about this one at all. Everyone knows Fierce. Everyone knows what it smells like. Just a nice, musky, masculine fragrance for men. This by no means is something that is, unique or anything like that. Pretty much everyone has smelled this fragrance by now. It's extremely popular. It's been through so many reformulations. So many people smelled it. But I do own a bottle here, and I decided to wear it. As much as you want to hate on the scent, it's hard to deny that it does smell nice, and it's also hard to deny that people around you like it as well. Even though it is still so popular, and I'm sure a lot of people still wear it, it is still one that's going to garner you compliments. It's going to get you positive attention. I don't know for sure which bottle this is or how old it is, but I know that still does have solid performance. It's just a good fragrance overall. It's really hard to beat. Like I said, everyone does know about it. Everyone has talked about it. It's by no means is anything new or unique, but it is one that still does get the job done. And I felt like wearing it that day, so I figured, why not? I also want to mention really quickly that I've been adding a lot of new fragrances to my website. For those of you who don't know, if you head on over to chaosfragrances.com, I'm offering a lot of new designer fragrances. They're all brand new fragrances in the box, still wrapped in the cellophane. They're all 100% authentic. I source them from fragrance wholesalers and distributors around the U.S. And my goal really is to compete with a lot of the big discounters like FragranceNet, FragranceX, trying to get as close to their prices, if not better, as I can to give you guys the best deal possible. And on top of that, also offer fast shipping. So a lot of my customers have been getting their orders in 2 or 3 days, which is pretty quick. Typically, one of the people's biggest gripes with FragranceNet is their shipping is very slow. Even if you go with one of their paid options, it's still going to be relatively slow. But with my website, the standard shipping option is getting your package there in 2 to 3 days. So there's really no need for you to, spend more money on quicker shipping because the standard one is already fast. And one other thing I also want to mention, when you go over to the website, a pop-up box will come up, and if you enter your email, you'll get a 5% off discount code you can use for your first order. That way you can check everything out and see what you like. So again, if you're in the market for any designer fragrances, definitely go check it out. I got Versace, Dior, Prada, the list goes on. I am trying to add more fragrances as time goes on. I want to start adding some more niche, and once I can get a hold of them for a good deal, I can. Right now I have like Bond No. 9 cent a piece on there for a pretty good price. That's really about all I can get, but I am trying to expand that soon. Now moving on to Monday, I went with a Creed. This one is Creed Millésime Imperial. So remember, the goal of this week was to wear all mass appealing fragrances, and out of pretty much all of the Creeds in general, I would have to say that Millésime Imperial is probably up there with the #1 most mass appealing scent that they offer. Aventus is right there. I thought about including Aventus, but I decided to choose this one instead, just because I feel like even Aventus sometimes can be a little bit off-putting to some people because it is very strong, it's very sharp, it's very masculine, and not everyone is going to like it. For the most part, though, people do. A lot of people really love Aventus, but there is still that chance that some people may not be fully on board with it. But with Millésime Imperial, this stuff is really hard to beat. It's completely unisex. Both male and female can wear it, and it's just so pleasing. It's so easy to wear. It just smells incredible. It's just such a light, uplifting, summery smelling fragrance. And just in terms of smelling great, smelling mass appealing, this stuff has to be, one of the best from Creed, and honestly probably one of the best in general. This DNA is incredible. Really, really love this stuff. This is a 2016 bottle. I do prefer the older bottles, the older batches. They do smell better in my opinion. They have more of that salty watermelon smell. These newer bottles are a little bit more watered down in a sense that they don't quite have that type of appeal. They're a little bit more musky and citrusy, but nonetheless still is a great scent. It's one that everyone around you pretty much is going to like. It'd be really hard to dislike this one. In my opinion, this is a must-have in everyone's collection. Anyone who is wanting to collect some niche, you got to have this one. It is Millésime Imperial. And on Tuesday, which was yesterday, the last day of the week for the rotation, I went with Baccarat Rouge 540. So believe it or not, this fragrance actually does really, really well in the public. A lot of people really love this stuff, and that honestly surprised me when I first got the fragrance and I smelled it. I really wasn't thinking that people were going to like it. I was thinking this is probably going to be more of a personal fragrance for myself because people might be off-put by it. But after I started wearing it and I would, go online and see that other people were, having good experiences with this fragrance, it really hit me. And this stuff does do really good. This stuff is loved by a lot of people. It's very unique. There aren't a lot of fragrances that smell like this. It's also extremely strong. This is the Eau de Parfum, and I just usually do 2 sprays and it projects very far, lasts a very long time. It does have this kind of transparent quality, so it smells really good in the air and it leaves a nice trail. Just a really, really good fragrance. For some people, it's probably going to be more of a winter fragrance or a fall and winter scent. For me, though, I still like to wear it in the summer. It does good for me. In the really, really high heat outdoors, I may not do that, but generally in the summertime, I still will wear this one. So guys, that is it. That is my weekly fragrance rotation for last week. Let me know down below which fragrances you wore, and that's going to do it, guys. So if you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss when I post. And that's it for me, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.